In fact, over the past 2.5 years, we have gone through a lot. And in the international media, there are some inaccurate reporting on the business environment of Hong Kong. But the situation is very different from what they have described. Actually, after the enactment of the national security law, Hong Kong quickly returned from chaos to stability. And last year, improvement to our electoral system, enabling Hong Kong to back on the right track of one country, two system arrangement, with patriots administering and serving Hong Kong. So Hong Kong now is in the best position to grow and focus our attention on economic development and also on improving people's livelihood. If I may share with you some figures about the situation now as compared to before. Actually, the number of companies listed on our stock exchange and the total amount raised by them is over 500 billion Hong Kong dollar. Very impressive. The asset under management in 2020 gone up to 34 trillion Hong Kong dollars and increased by over 21%. And recently, the Global Financial Index ranked Hong Kong number 3 in terms of international financial center. We are just trailing after New York and London. And in Asia, we are number 1. And actually, the UN have a report about foreign direct investment. We rank number 3, only after the United States and our country. SME is a very important sector for Hong Kong in terms of number of companies, in terms of employment. So we are approaching this from 3 dimensions. Number 1, to reduce their operating costs, reduce the fees and charges. Say, for example, we provide an employment subsidy scheme, subsidizing these enterprises in their payroll costs. We have rolled out 2 rounds of this employment support scheme. Lately, the current round is to provide each employee with a monthly salary support of 8,000 Hong Kong dollars. This is very important during the COVID attack period to provide support to the SME and to sustain their confidence. The other approach is to provide them with liquidity support. We have rolled out guarantee scheme, meaning that they can go to the bank to apply for loans guaranteed by the government 100%. So the initial scheme is to cover 18 months rental and payroll costs. And then in view of the prolonged attack, we increased the amount up to 27 months of salary and rental, up to a maximum amount of $9 million. And we provide them with repayment holiday. Recently, we have introduced a very special measure that is to prevent landlord from chasing the tenants in the hard-hit sector for rental payment for a period of 3 months. And final approach is to provide SME with business. That's why last year and this year we launched a consumption voucher scheme. Last year we paid $5,000. This year we paid $10,000 in 2 tranches. And by spending, they can give business to the SMEs and thereby activate the entire economic cycle. The response last year was very good. Actually, last year, the GDP growth was 6.3%. Going into the future, green and sustainable finance is a key. This is important for Hong Kong and very important for the country. For the country, there is a target of 30-60 about carbon emission. And in Hong Kong, we have 2050 carbon emission zero target. So going forward, being an international financial center, I think we are very well positioned to guide international capital to match them with green projects. So since 2019, we start to issue green bonds. So far, we have issued green bonds to the equivalent value of $10 billion US. Say, for example, last February, the issue size of about $4 billion US. At that time, that was the largest issue by Asian government in terms of green bonds. And last year, we also experiment issuing retail green bonds because we think that in order to achieve green economy, the buy-in from the general public, the support of the general public is very important. So last year, we issued Hong Kong dollar retail green bond to the order of 20 billion Hong Kong dollar. That is the largest globally in terms of retail green bonds. So on this, we are exploring different options for expanding the foreign investor groups, not just US dollar, but also renminbi, as well as euro, to attract them to Hong Kong. And at the same time, we encourage mainland cities and mainland enterprises, particular enterprises in the Greater Bay Area, to come to Hong Kong to use our platform to raise funds. Last year, the Shenzhen municipal government came here to issue renminbi bonds to the order of 5 billion, oversubscribed, overwhelming support. Part of it is green bonds. So we are very confident this platform will serve the GBA and our country well in terms of channeling international funds to support the green transition